Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's something wrapped in something, a muffler. Unless there's evidence to prove connection between the knife and Goodman. This knife was found on the scene of the crime, of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that go on at the department I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto. Maybe there's something about the knife that will give us a clue. Let's examine that knife while we can, Righto. Why do you call me Righto? Evidence that links the knife to Detective Goodman. I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. I should try presenting the piece of evidence that had me stumped all this time. So how were things down at the department? Like, I'm thinking it'd be this. Let's try. Let's try presenting, as you said. That's victim's note. Wait a second. Aha! Last, in an honest to goodness objection. I've loved objections. This knife, this has have to do something to do with Goodman. What do you mean? Ha ha! An honest to goodness, what do you mean from the judge? This is great! I love trials. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92. And this is important, why? Over here we also have a memo that on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7s at 12/2. 12 divided by 2. Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside down? Upside? The printed name on the memo looks like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? Oh. Ah! When he wrote this note, he was holding the paper upside down. SL9? That's the same thing that's written on the knife's tag. I didn't actually even consider it right there. I just said, it's kind of similar in a way. Kind of. I mean, that's as good as I was gonna get. I didn't think about turning it upside down. Ah, well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? The knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. So this knife was stolen. Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice, nice, nice. Good show, Little Worthy. It was a murder weapon as it happened. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. And it was found in the exhaust pipe in Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. That was a bad day for the department. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna object any further on that, but let's keep pressing. Something didn't happen at the police department too, did it? You got a good look in your eyes. There, Righto, my boy. Sharp, hungry. Chief, did something happen, and why haven't I heard? Why haven't you heard? Or why didn't you ask? No matter, I understand. You were busy, what with Elena's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? A detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess. On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department. That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Oh, that's hush-hush. Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested. That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Wright. I suppose I could help if you help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. I already know when the victim died. I don't need that. How the victim was killed, stabbed. Where the victim was found. think the where the found is going to be the most important. Because I know when. He already said 5:15. So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. Evidence room? Wait a second. I've heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? The knife was in evidence in a case. It was stolen from the police evidence room. There's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy. Happy. We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With the link between two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gann to testify about the details. It's not officially linked in this case, but I can't talk too much. Well, I don't have anything to present, but I can press on that. Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. Huh, you don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had written down the numbers on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed, there do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. You two make a good point. It took my men 2 days to find out what you were deduced right here. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, well, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet, no. Can we get the information? Unofficially? What? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What? Really? Who would have guessed? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department. Yes, you can. If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh, well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. The victim's division, victim's gender, victim's ID number. We could cross-reference that and see who it is. I don't give a fuck about the gender. That doesn't really matter. Division, it's too wide. Let's try if we can't get ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't get your hopes up. The number is 584-2189. What was his 584? You know what? What? Oh, fuck. He didn't die in that parking lot. Wait, was there only one person? This is a fucking cover-up, isn't it? There was only one person that was murdered. It was Goodman. Goodman was killed in the evidence room. They took him into... They probably stuffed him in Edgeworth's car. And probably put all of her shit in the exhaust as well. She went over there, found a dude in the car, and that's what happened. Like, there's only one person that died. And it was just Goodman. Well, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82... I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department. This tells me everything. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. No, I think. Meaning. It has to be, I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you? It tells me Goodman was. Witness. What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just, I got confused. And this is news? Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. The police department, the prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. It's 1 person was killed, but they're passing it off as 2 separate crimes. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney, remember? It's the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Righto. Personnel IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait! That ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82. I've forgotten. 5. You even got the first number wrong. Again. The number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, ho, ho, sharp as attack, Righto, sharp as attack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Unless that's not Goodman. Yet Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department, in the evidence room at the exact same time. That's impossible. So what you're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, and in a completely different location. Order, order! Chief, what does this mean? No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case. Now, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error. Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? It was the fuck-up kid who decided to come over with the case file, and he's like, nah, go fuck yourself. Wait, aha! Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth here anywhere on the premise? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got a report, sir. You don't mean him? According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said that report had nothing to do with the Lena Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on top of the report. God, why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to court as evidence. Then I. No such luck this time, Worthy, or should I say unworthy? What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law? Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's Rule 2, new evidence may only be submitted if it concerns the case of the trial. And how is this relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence that can be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Righto over here. Good job, Righto, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! It seems we have to come to the end of this trial. You're becoming a thorn in my side, Worthy. There have been rumors. After all, you were in the defendant's chair just last year. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened, if it's the last thing I do. You better get results this time, really. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error of this series in the history of this court. We will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will this be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it is not decisive. Very well, court's adjourned. To be continued. This trial is, something else. I'm feeling it's just one person. Like, I just feel like, or there's just like the guy that was in there, it's just some fucking random dude. February 23rd, 2:15 p.m. Mr. Wright, so, what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see, what is going on? Victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's with the "and the evidence room" part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're going to find out. I'll try to, at least. Alright, let's do it. Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Would you mind coming with me? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go. Science awaits us. February 23rd, Prosecutor's Office. Underground parking. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? Of course it was our victim who was killed at the department. And my sister would never do such a thing, I know it. Okay, so yeah, it was just one guy that died. I think he was stabbed there, like way before, before Edgeworth left. The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never. Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not at all it at all. It's just, we're both professionals in what we do, and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was bloodstains or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. I don't think there was. I don't think there was any blood to begin with. Because I think he was murdered at the police department and then stuffed into Edgeworth's car. She ended up opening Edgeworth's car, and that his body came tumbling out, which is where that picture came from. No water from the washed away. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is luminol testing fluid. Luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know? We can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone else, anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. Maybe, why do I have to do it? I'm a minor, I can't even drink yet. We're testing blood stains with that stuff, not drinking it. Fucking drink some luminol. Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You got an extra pair of those things? Oh, fuck. To test for a blood reaction, just spray it on, like this, see? Touch the screen to spray. Okay, let's find some blood stains. Okay, if anything, I would... Hey, look, there's some. That's it. And what I would be looking for is, like, the drain. Enhance. I can see your eyes shining behind those glasses. So this is a blood stain. It's so, Emma, you're shaking. It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, we definitely know this is a blood stain. But doesn't something strike you odd, scientifically speaking, of course? If someone was stabbed, there would have been bled out a fuck ton more than just that. What's odd about this, scientifically? The amount of blood. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, there's like 4 drops. I mean, look at the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It's strange. If they fought here, they'd have to be more bloodstains than this. Hey, Mr. Wright, also you could just look at it and just say that there's no footprints either. Even an outline. But you look near like the drain and stuff, because if indeed she did wash it, you'd need to check there just to see if there's like a large amount of it that had congregated there of blood. Hey, Mr. Wright. See how I'm marking the floor plans when we find a blood stain? See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah, that's very, useful information to have. I saved out of my allowance to buy this. Luminol testing fluid. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. And we'll drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah, even though you guys do the exact same thing. You kind of just like, yeah, I'm not gonna bring up the blue badger, dude. Like, you just bring up evidence that matters. It feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? This luminol stuff is going to come in handy. Christ. I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Starr, you only trust your own eyes. Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead, it doesn't really get my mouth watering. Christ, no hard feelings, right? You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Starr, but, No, it's okay. It's my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from the security room right there. But I was afraid that it wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry, you lied on the stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from were different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Skye stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Starr? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened a criminal when they faced me. They coughed it up. Coughed it up? They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know. I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I dragged the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect, and before long they called me the cough-up queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. I thought it had a completely different connotation even from food poisoning. And you were let go, fired? I felt that I found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if those prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case, the SL9 incident. Oh my, not another one. SL, what? Wait, she doesn't mean. What do you think about this? SL9. On that knife. And on that note. Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know. Really? That knife was evidence from the case, the murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over, not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? Oh, fucking no. I guess not. Let's see if Edgeworth's in. Like, apparently we just don't get anything on that. Well, this place is certainly tidy today. And it will be tidy tomorrow, too. Incidentally, he's not here. I'm sure he's off doing important investigations. I hope that's what he's doing. I guess we'll have to come back. Like, I can't fucking present the same thing to her. She just won't fucking tell me. Let's, present this, maybe. I had one of those up until 2 years ago. Back when you were the cop-up queen, right? We found this ID card here in the parking lot. Well, there's no mistaking that. It's definitely Goodman's. But it's the same ID as the man who was killed at the police department. That's impossible. I wish I could be sure. Like, is there fucking anything I can present? What do you think about this? Can we ask you about the SL9 and doesn't ask about SL9? The fuck's wrong with you? Like, fucking Christ. Talk about the SL9. Why isn't it added? Let's go with detention. Looks like Miss Guy is in questioning. I hope the detectives aren't yelling at her. How did you kill him in 2 places at the same time? Can you imagine? How's she supposed to answer that? Wait a second. Chief said they'd caught the criminal at the police department. Let's come back later. Wow, everyone looks deadly serious here. Well, there was a victim of a murder of a detective in this department after all. Yeah, but the same detective was also killed at in the parking lot. That makes my head hurt. Well, first thing first, I want to check out the crime scene here. Yeah, you sound dead, said and on investigating. But don't mess up or we could end up dead. I doubt anyone wants more mysterious mysteries or dead bodies right now. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to help us much either. Actually, no, let's examine the dude back here. It's not Chief. That must be the head detective. He's glued to his computer screen. Wah! Detective killed in the evidence room. Oh my god. Tell no one outside the police department. No! I told that old lady at the restaurant everything. Someone's getting a demotion. Thought he was playing fucking Clue or something. But, you know, detective scene.